Welcome to a St. Patty's Day edition of, almost St. Patty's Day edition of the Varsity Brews Podcast. Three of your favorite guys are back talking football and beer at Westwind Brewery. Buddies, it's been a while here.
Top of the morning to you, Vahid.
Aaron West, Evan Sharpley, Vahid Sadrzadeh, and yes, it is the day before St. Patty's Day, and of course, March Madness in full swing.
It's kind
on
of a
the
national
TVs.
holiday at this
Dude,
point, right?
It so is. Absolutely.
You have your bracket filled out. You ready to go?
So I got to say something right off the bat.
no.
Fill out a bracket?
Oh, no.
This is the first year in 10 years I have not filled out a bracket.
There goes
First of all-
there goes the material.
Villanova, not in it. North Carolina, not in it. Wisconsin, not in it.
Michigan, not in it.
Well, you got a lot of teams. Michigan's not in it either?
No.
Yeah, this is how much I don't know about the tournament this year.
They're horrible.
So some of the teams that we've come to know and love in the tournament, just not there. I mean, when you have a Houston versus Purdue championship.
Purdue's not making it. They're the biggest March letdown team ever.
They are.
Yeah, they're not making it.
So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the NCAA tournament. We've got
I filled out a bracket, so we could talk about mine if you want to.
We can
I did
absolutely
this
do
morning.
that.
And we also had the kids fill out a bracket, which was hilarious.
Nice.
So we've got Johanna, who's 7. She's picked the Drake Bulldogs to win.
Drake Bulldogs, man.
And,
Nice.
Aren't they like a 12-seed or something?
Yeah. Her final four is, I think, a 12, a 10, a 13, and a 15.
Good for her.
Yeah.
I love
really
it. Hey.
spice it up. But all we do for that is they just pick based on who the mascot is.
Yeah, see, that's the best way
And
to
then
pick.
so Lucy, my 5-year-old, she picked the St. Mary's Gales.
Nice.
Because of
Why
the
not,
name,
right? Yeah.
apparently. So, yeah, we've got a little a family bracket going on.
Well, and we're talking, so we're not only talking about the NCAA tournament, we're talking about pro football today. We'll talk a little Notre Dame, but pro football.
Zeke.
I wore the wrong hat today.
He's a freak, buddy.
And also, the Lions are like top 5
I
to
know.
potentially win the odds to win the Super Bowl
That
next year.
Montgomery thing, I'm all smiles, buddy.
But your running back is gone, right?
Jamal Williams, I don't know if he's officially left, but he's not, like, they were trying to re-sign him. So I'm guessing when you go get David Montgomery, who you know Montgomery's still trying to prove himself. That's a good sign, though.
That is a good sign.
3 years, $18 million.
We'll talk about the Aaron Rodgers debacle, and he's still in darkness, not darkness, whatever. Yeah. And then we'll, of course, talk about the green beer season here at Westwind Brewery. I feel like we haven't been here at home base in a while.
We haven't, Julie was making fun of me and Evan when I saw him because I'm like, dude, I haven't seen you since Christmas. He goes, no, dude, we did one podcast. Well, because we missed a couple, and
Right.
it was everybody's busy. You're traveling all over the world. I'm trying to brew beer, sell beer. Evan's doing his thing.
Busy with work.
A thing called the
We're
work.
just doing some stuff.
It's Julia's Uncut Gems birthday, by the way. Yesterday was the special day, and you, my friend, put together this incredible kind of, was it a surprise for her, or was it?
She just didn't want to plan anything, so I took the reins. So we did a little sauna over in Granger. We did a couples massage. Dropped her off with some friends for about an hour, and then we went to corn dance.
Nice.
How was
Did you
corn
get
dance?
the sword of John
we
Adams?
did get the sword of John Adams.
My favorite.
And,
What meat was on it?
And also, by the way,
what meat was on it?
they had a cap cut ribeye, marinated chicken, bacon wrapped
That's
shrimp.
sort of John Adams. That's a special treat.
It was very good. But here's what I learned: they have sushi there,
What?
Yes.
and it is good.
Yes.
Like
They do have sushi
like
there.
I would go there just to eat sushi.
Buddy, I've never known that as many times as I've been in there.
So good.
That's like a life hack right there.
We're like, I will sit down and I go, oh, okay. Well, I'm getting some of that.
What a great birthday.
Yeah, it was
Dude,
good. And
that's
then we
awesome.
stopped at Roost Chris for a little nightcap.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Nice.
It's always a good spot.
To be young and married.
Newlyweds still, right?
Newlyweds.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
less than
We're
a year.
still-
Yeah.
Honeymoon phase.
Yeah, honeymoon.
My wife
haven't gone on a
is
honeymoon
dangerously
yet, but-
sitting about 3 feet from where I'm standing right there off camera. Babe, we're newlyweds too. Yeah, it's all good. She looks down at her phone.
Right.
Yeah. Julia's like, yo. All right. Well, we've got let's talk a little bit Notre Dame football here. They lose some key coaches.
I'm worried, Vahid.
You're worried?
Yeah.
Are you more worried about the offense or special teams?
Offensive line.
Offensive line, okay.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah.
Dude, he's got a smirk. Like,
I know,
actually,
he's not happy about it.
I'm very biased towards Heastan.
Yeah.
I mean, having played with a lot of the guys that he's coached and just talking to them, being around him, his son worked out at my gym a little bit when he was at St. Joe. He's just different. He's different in a special way. So
like different the way he coaches, different the way.
Yeah, the expectations. Just kind of the level he sets as the baseline. He asks so much of his guys, and you look at who he's coached. I mean, look at the contracts of Stanley, McGlinchey, Martin, Nelson. I mean, those dudes, they're the best the best in the NFL. And those are all guys that he coached. So
Bars, Banks.
And certainly, too, there's something to be said with the talent that they had. But, what he brought out of those guys, the thing that I heard all the time was just his attention to detail. Mm-hmm. And, again, not to take away from, the other offensive line coaches, it's just I just see him on a different level. And so I think it's tough to fill those shoes regardless of who was to come in. So you saw what happened when he initially left. I think you saw a little bit of regression overall in controlling the line of scrimmage, but you saw how quickly that changed once he was back on staff. And that's one of those things that it does take time. It can take time to gel as an offensive line unit, but it was not that it was overnight, but it was pretty quick as far as their ability to control the line of scrimmage and then run the football once they decided that was kind of going to be their MO.
So you're more concerned about Hartman in the pocket? You're more concerned about the running game and what the timing would be? I
just think there's a lot of unanswered questions when you lose an offensive line coach and an offensive coordinator. There's a lot of new voices.
Yeah.
And at the college level, too, with turnover, right? This isn't at the pro level. Well, let's say maybe an offensive coordinator leaves for a head coaching job, or whether it's in the pros or he goes to college, and you're still playing with the same 4 or 5 guys on the offensive line. You still have the same quarterback. You have the same receivers. There's not that turnover at the pro level. In college, there's attrition. Guys are going to graduate. Guys are going to leave. And so when there's also changes within the coaching staff, it takes time, right? It can't just be a coach coming in and saying, hey, these 4 or 5 offensive linemen have played with each other for the last 10 years. I just have to come in and implement my system. We have to get them ready to play. Some might not have experience. They maybe have not played with each other. So there's other elements to it in the college game that's much different than, say, the NFL. So I think that's where my concern is you're limited on time in the offseason. You're going to have a spring. You're going to have some time in the summer with contact. But then once you get into the fall, I mean, it's time to play. Like, you can't have guys growing up in fall camp. Well, you have to have that already figured out.
Do you think that'll mesh or be a issue with the 1-year quarterback? I mean, obviously they brought him in, and that's gonna you got a couple different elements, right?
Yeah, but Vahid brings up a good point. Is you do have an experienced quarterback. Okay, that does bode well. If we're talking about a first-year starter, I think I'd have more pause. But you have a guy this is his 6th or 7th year, I think, in college football. So that experience is going to help because he's been around the game. You're going to throw the playbook at him, and he's going to be able to pick it up pretty quick. I think that he'll be able to mesh with. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions when you have an entire new set of staff and coordinators. It's just
and your head coach, admittingly, so we were in New York. I was in New York this past week, and Marcus Freeman was speaking to a bunch of executives and company, Wall Street executives. And so it was more of a business type presentation. But he did talk a little bit about the staff that's incoming. And he was asked the question about, is it when you're standing on the sidelines, don't you feel like you want to get involved because you used to be a former defensive coordinator? And his answer was, yes, I feel like I need to be in the defensive room sometimes because you miss being around those guys. Sure. He is a defensive coach.
Yep.
Let's remember that.
Yeah.
He said specifically about the offense, I don't really have to go over there because I just trust my guys to do it.
Yeah, he's hired the right.
But
if you hire the right,
if you hire it, yeah.
you hope. So he's a defensive-minded coach.
We talked about that last year.
Where does the offense fit into that whole scheme, right?
That's fair.
We mentioned that I think a couple of times this last season is, Tommy Rees had full autonomy of the offense because he wasn't going to necessarily be checked by Freeman.
Right.
In the previous regime with Kelly, who's more of an offensive-minded coach,
right.
He's going to be quicker to jump into that offensive room if things aren't happening.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So that's why it is important to have the right person who can make some of those things with maybe out having the oversight of. But I just think how that's natural. Like, if I was a head coach, being an offensive-minded guy, I'd gravitate more towards the offensive side too, whether things are good or bad. But for sure, if something's not going well, man, I'm going to jump in and tell you that something's wrong. But if you're a defensive-minded coach, I certainly can see that. But that's why it does make it all the more important to have someone who is going to be whoever's driving that boat. You got to make sure that guy that's driving that boat knows what he's doing and is able to make some of those, or have somebody check him maybe within that staff and saying, hey, we got to change some stuff up.
And admittingly, I mean, you're going to have guys that rotate in and out of those assistant coach positions every 2 or 3 years. Yeah. However, with all of
unless
those,
you pay him,
right? That's another point.
Pay him $2 million. Pay him $2 million to go be offensive coordinator.
Alabama, right?
Yeah. Well, Mike Elko still might be the defender. Freeman maybe never would have showed up. You paid him,
right?
Or Clark Lee.
Yeah.
So on that note, a lot changing with the Notre Dame football program on the sidelines this upcoming year. A new quarterback. You've got some new systems going into place. New special teams coordinator. So a lot to discuss.
I'm glad you brought that up though too, because I mean, special teams. You look at last year.
Yeah.
The season could have gone much differently, and it went different already. But it could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse.
It literally changed the outcome of 2 games last year. So, you have a lot of new faces. It'll be interesting to see.
Well, they're bringing back Biaggia, right, who was previously on staff at Notre Dame. So,
and the offensive coordinator was in those rooms before, but at a different level this year. So, Notre Dame football, of course, the pro day is right around the corner. When we come back, we're going to...
Are you running the 40?
Oh, man.
I run the 5. Have you heard about that?
No, what's the 5?
It's from here to the bar.
we should do a Varsity Brews.
Should we? Like a pro day?
Pro day? Some combine testing.
I like where his mind is right now.
And we'll have to superset some beers, though.
But you're right. Yeah. I mean, we've got to some adjust.
Yeah, some acts of physical feat, of course.
Can tell you what my bench is right now.
What is it?
Wait,
I thought you said.
Well, is it 180?
Double check it with Heather.
So Vahid,
my bench is 180 right now.
Let's say you. So if I get
not great, buddy.
So if I get hurt, what about deadlift?
Oh, I haven't tested deadlift.
Oh, well, we need to check that out. Like, just in case, Aaron and I, something happens to us, could you drag us on the floor?
Ooh, probably not. Yeah, I don't know. This is interesting though. You've laid down the gauntlet now. Yeah. We might have on the road kind of thing with a pro day. I like this. I like this. All right.
For a while, what I did is
ice baths and everything.
It was post playing football, some pro baseball. Around combine time, I'd show up and I'd wear a suit to go to the gym and walk in and rep out 225 on the bench.
Rep out.
Hey.
Did you hear that? Rep out.
That's confidence. That's confidence. I like it.
I don't know where I am.
I barely have one.
I don't know where I am right now.
With help. All right, we're going to be back on the Varsity Brews Podcast. Your boys bringing the Reuben right about now, or is that the pretzel bites?
That's the pretzel.
Oh, okay. The Reuben's coming, and then we're going to talk some beers here. We literally talked about it. I haven't seen half of these beers.
I know. That's amazing. That's how long we haven't got together. Right.
All right. The Varsity Brews Podcast is back, and the gang is back together here at Westwind Brewery. We're going to be back in just a moment. All right, welcome back to the Varsity Brews Podcast. We got to do a quick uncut gems before this gem of a human being has to run out. Julia joins us.
Hey.
What's going on? Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
I heard you had a spectacular slash, surprise slash day?
What can I say? Evan Sharpley is really good at taking care of me.
What was the best part about the day?
Okay, so for one, we went to the Drip Infrared Sauna Spa, whatever you call it, over in Heritage Square. Amazing. Such a cool setup over there. So we went there, and I got a good sweat on, and then we went and had a massage, and then, yeah, that was great, though. That was just great. I mean, on paper, you'd be like, but you show up and, just have a good, be still, get all the bad out, and just sweat, and then get a good massage. You're like, okay, all right. So it's very refreshing.
By the way, that's a nice name for a business.
Right?
The Drip.
Right? One syllable, easy to process.
Wow.
And you drip.
Do they have like a tagline or?
Yeah, it is.
Didn't stick with
strip,
this. No,
sip, drip.
That's the tagline?
Yeah.
Oh.
Strip,
I thought.
sip, drip.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're supposed to drink water in there. I thought maybe you'd bring like some
Yeah,
beers in. I was like, what are we
Maybe
sipping?
bringing some like old
Maybe we-
fashioned in
What
there.
are we
Well, maybe we
sipping?
can get some Westwind beers on top.
Right.
I
Now
know.
you're talking.
I don't think it really could be implemented here at Westwind. Like, y'all keep your clothes on, but I just like,
You never know what happens here at
like,
Westwind when it gets crazy.
Not the marketing line that I think Aaron's going for, but
So, what is our uncut gem
besides all
this
that,
week? Yes, besides all that.
all right.
Besides
so-
the dripping part.
Yeah, besides that part. Did you know that green eggs and ham started as a bet?
No.
No, me neither until this moment. The Dr. Seuss classic grew out of a bet with his editor that he could not create a book using fewer than 50 different words. The editor, Random House founder Bennett Cerf, put, you guessed it, $50 on the line and lost.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
I think that's cool.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Hey, you're welcome.
I'm
Uses
smarter
less than
today
50
because of that
total words,
uncut
so.
gem.
50 total words, and he did it.
That just teaches you
Legendary.
in life.
Yeah.
Never underestimate what somebody can do
Yeah, under the power of the bet.
under the power of the bet.
$50.
Absolutely.
$50, 50 words.
Was it just one today, or?
Well, we can make another one happen. Did you know, drum roll,
Yeah.
most wasabi.
You don't want me to do a drum roll?
Did you know that most wasabi that we eat in the U.S. isn't really wasabi?
I did know this.
You did?
I think you told me this.
Okay, so
Well, what is really wasabi? Like, it's from the wasabi plant.
No, hold on. It's a mixture of Worcestershire,
Okay, so for
And-
somebody who knew this already,
something else, and dye, right? Like green food dye.
Okay, it says if you enjoy wasabi with your sushi, you'd probably be surprised to learn that most of this wasabi we consume in the U.S. isn't real wasabi, made from the expensive wasabi root, according to the Chicago Tribune. The wasabi you're eating, that's white horseradish mixed with ground mustard seeds and green dye.
Well, that's
Wow.
So basically, you gave allusion to the
close.
spoiler.
Oh.
Yeah. it was
So do they
close.
have American companies that are like going back and jarring like the horseradish with like a
I
dye?
mean, frankly, there's an American shortcut for everything. Let's not lie. Like, oh, you know what?
Damn.
That sounds like a lot of work. You know, it'd make more money if we just do this.
So it'd be really interesting when we go on spring break to see what the difference is with the.
That's true.
The wasabi.
He's going to Japan.
Oh,
Yeah. Bring some of that real stuff back for us,
will.
baby.
Heck yeah, baby.
Do some wasabi gold.
Hey, I love it, man. So yeah, they have wasabi chips, or what are the wasabi?
Peas.
Peas.
yes.
I love
Yeah,
those.
I love those. Frankly, if I ever have congestion, I'm like, it'll do the trick.
Wasabi.
Yeah, we had some great sushi last night. I'm the person that will like pile the wasabi on there. Like if I'm not sweating and like if every part of my face isn't clear and running, I'm like, it's not good for me. So I love wasabi.
What are we talking about?
Wasabi.
Wasabi.
Babe,
Okay.
sorry, I'll bring it back around to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sip, drip. What is it?
And wasabi.
Yeah.
Oh, and wasabi.
Sip, drip, and wasabi.
Sip, drip, wasabi. Julia's Uncut Gems always enlightens our days and
We can
weeks.
say it that way, but yes, thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor.
Thank you. Back on the Varsity Brews Podcast next.
Here we go.
Oh, wow.
Dude, that was some good ASMR on that one.
It was.
You're about to hear some amazing ASMR on the pizza you're about to bring out, too. So, welcome back to the Varsity Brews Podcast. Evan, Aaron, Vahid, and we are live at Westwind Brewery as we're just getting going on this March Madness Round 1 situation. Let's do some, I don't know, true, false, yes, no type questions, all right?
Nice.
NFL. NFL edition, here we go. And both of you can answer these questions. Question number 1. Who is the favorite as of this moment to win the Super Bowl next year?
Kansas City Chiefs.
I would think that he's probably right, but I got to think the Lions are moving up.
They are. They're top 5, baby.
Top 5, man. You know?
They got some good stuff going.
Homer. Wait, are you going with Goff?
Yeah. The thing, though, is like,
I don't know. Listen, they're
is he
making
gonna have is he going to have a sophomore slump with the Lions?
Yeah,
he was
good.
I don't know, but I love Campbell, man.
Yeah.
He's got.
Dude, Coach Campbell's a great coach.
He got some stuff going.
I'm with you. Kansas.
If Tom Brady comes back and plays for the 49ers, are they the Super Bowl favorite?
If he goes and plays for the Dolphins, they are.
He's not going to play for the Dolphins.
That's the rumor.
The rumor's Miami.
The rumor is Miami.
Yep. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Buddy, you have been traveling a lot.
I thought the rumor was, as of late, the San Francisco 49ers.
That could be true. The last I heard was Miami, and that was around the time that they traded for Ramsey. By the way, how did they make that trade happen? To Miami?
No, well, to Lamar Jackson to either Miami or San Francisco. That's the latest.
That would be dangerous.
They're never going to let Lamar Jackson go, though. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to franchise tag or whatever they're going to do, and he's not going to find money anywhere else. I mean,
but they took the franchise tag off, right? I mean,
no,
he's
the
now
franchise tag off.
Yeah, it's off now. So which makes
now
and he's asking for like $200-300 million.
Baltimore can match any offer an opposing team makes.
Yeah. Do you think that, though, that was part strategic on his part, saying, hey, I think I'm worth this, and Baltimore took more of an approach of saying, hey, go challenge the open market. We still want you as our quarterback, but like he may not be worth that amount of money.
But I think he is. I mean, you look –
you
look at some of the other guys that just got paid. You really think Daniel Jones is on the same level as Lamar Jackson?
You're 100% right about that.
That is true. That is
the market has gone insane.
It's weird.
It has gone absolutely insane.
But you mean to tell me that he's 26, won an MVP, and there isn't a team that's going to be like, let's pay the man whatever he wants?
Is there a better division if Aaron Rodgers trade officially gets traded?
There's not.
Is there a better division than the AFC?
There's not.
Do you think the Jets are the favorite in the AFC?
No, they're not, but there's not a better division.
I had a conversation saying, for me, looking at the Aaron Rodgers trade to the Jets, they're going to go and give a ton of draft picks. They're going to give up some big time.
Jets are.
Yeah, the Jets are to get him.
Right.
They're going to have to pay him. Regardless of the contract gets worked out, that's going to give the Jets 1 year, right? I mean,
1 year, and then he's going to go in hibernation. Then he's not going to be ready to play until the last second. New York, enjoy that.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. Like, I wouldn't, as an owner, I don't know.
Are you bitter right now?
he is not happy.
I don't like the way Aaron Rodgers came into the Packers organization, and I certainly don't like the way it's going down.
I don't think he liked how he got into the Packers organization either, though.
Aaron Rodgers, to me, boy, this is going to – I'm going to publicly say this for the first time.
Hold on. Would you have said this 5 years ago?
Yes.
You would have? Okay. All right. Fair then.
He went on the podcast yesterday onto McAfee's podcast, and he said he's one of the best players in franchise history. I can argue that I don't think Aaron Rodgers is a top 5 player in the organization's history as of
You don't think he's better than Favre?
No.
Okay.
This is where I was going.
And
I'm officially on record as saying
Favre, Reggie White.
Aaron Rodgers is overrated.
Ooh, stirred the pot.
No, he's looking at me like I'm crazy.
Either that or he's bitter.
Listen,
do you have
how many Super Bowls should the Packers have either attended or won in the last 10 years?
Well, that's fair. What do you think, Derek?
I'm a big Packers fan.
But here's the thing. But could the organization have done more to support him?
Here's one thing that I feel Green Bay, and listen, I'm a Lions fan, so I got to say it easily.
Green Bay is not any other organization in the National Football League. They do things a little differently. They spend money a little differently. but they've always found a way. Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. But like the opportunity to save Cobb, they didn't save Cobb. So some key components I think around Aaron Rodgers. I think that's fair. I mean,
Devontae Adams.
There was some of that I know that really. I mean, if I was him, I would have been upset with.
Well, that's what he's saying. Is like
these are my boys. Like this is what I. Yeah.
But there was an opportunity for him last year to leave too, and
Sure.
I feel like, I'll just come back, and they kind of half-assed it last year, and it was what it was. But like, Aaron Rodgers to me plays when he wants to play. That's the sense I get from Aaron Rodgers the entire time he's been with the organization. When he feels like playing, he's spectacular. When he doesn't feel like playing, he doesn't give a shit. Like, he'll just retreat for whatever. And that's what I think. I think who said that in the NBA, or who was that? I play when I want to play. That whole like around. You're not giving 1,000% every time you go on the
was
field.
it Allen Iverson?
Yeah, or something like
something maybe.
It's my boy right there.
Listen, I cheered for Aaron Rodgers for a long time. I think he was a good quarterback. Do I think he needs to be in the conversation as greatest of all time? Absolutely not. And I know a lot of people talk about him like he's the elite of the elite talent in the NFL. I don't know. I don't know that to be true.
I think the Jets, though, from an offensive standpoint, have got a lot of weapons where Aaron Rodgers could go into that environment and actually do real well. Zach Wilson, I mean, in his sophomore campaign year, right? This will be his second year, right? He obviously didn't live up to what they maybe thought he was going to be, from a draft pick standpoint. So I'm just saying, if I'm Green Bay, I'm going to have to go give up a lot of draft picks, probably some big cash, probably a buyout to get Aaron Rodgers. I'm not sure it's a smart move for the Jets. In terms of giving it all up, thinking it's probably a 1-year contract, right?
And I'll say this one last thing. Could be controversial again. I think Aaron Rodgers has been selfish in his time in Green Bay. I think it's been all about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's the best player in the organization in the last 10 years. However, you have to understand your role in that organization.
Well, he's not married. He doesn't have kids. He's basically dated
everybody you can
think of. But think about that, right? Those are all things that are kind of like just
Right, that's selfish.
Yeah, they're kind of selfish, right? So, the reality is like he's not a guy that got married. He didn't have kids. So, that's his lifestyle. That's just what he does, I mean, and he's making millions doing it. So, is that fair? Evan's shaking his head.
Would you take Aaron Rodgers right now, or would you take Josh Allen?
Josh Allen.
Oh, I'd take Josh Allen.
But we're also talking about different points of your career. I mean, I don't know. You give me both of those guys at the same age. That's a tough question. I probably would still take Josh Allen.
But here's what I'd like to say. If you look at Tom Brady and how he's set up, right? When Tom Brady's done, he's going to go have one of the largest sports contracts for being a sports analyst.
And it's not even close.
He's going to make more money as an analyst than even playing.
Yeah, than he's playing.
Right.
What does Aaron Rodgers have when he's done? So he's got to kind of stir the pot up, maybe to add a couple extra $1 million to his pocket.
Pat McAfee's co-host. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe. Is that a fair? But isn't that fair?
Vahid, I think there's some truth to it. I'm not going to. I won't say that he's overrated. That dude. I mean, you watch the way that he
can throw the football.
He is unreal at the quarterback position. I think that there's a lot of accuracy in what you say as far as his character, as far as the selfish motives.
Yeah.
But you meet a lot of athletes. They're and at the quarterback position, it's probably exacerbated even more. Where that can be the case.
There has to be a little bit of that.
Here's what I think is. I think that has taken on it's become a bigger animal in the last 3 to 5 years than it was prior to.
100%.
And I think some of that too can be said to some of the organizational moves, but obviously it's not like overnight he just became a selfish person. I think there was obviously elements of that from the very beginning of his career, but now how old is he? 30?
38, 39?
38, 39.
It's probably, he's like, his level of care is probably lower. Like, all right, guys, I'm going to go on the Pat McAfee show, and I'm probably going to have some hot takes that might be controversial towards the organization.
Yeah.
Which, normally you don't do that stuff. You're not going to throw your own organization under the bus. It's not going to help the relationship.
Unless you know you're leaving.
Unless
Correct.
you know you're
leaving.
Right. And the general manager, who has always had his back, said as such the other day when he was asked, "Hey, do you think Aaron Rodgers will leave?" He's
at some point though, I mean, it's piss or get off the pot. I mean,
and
he said now,
right?
You're almost waiting for the Packers to be like, we don't want you.
Yeah, it could be
we need to move forward. I think the separation is necessary.
Well,
but what are we dragging it out for? Like, let's go, bud.
This is how divorce happens here. You know what I mean? They
fair.
drag out.
Yeah.
Somebody says something, and you're like, hey, I mean, it's go time. It's time to separate them. And I'll tell you this. So I have a really dear friend, the one who lives in Japan. And he is a lifelong season ticket holder of the Green Bay Packers. His grandfather used to play semi-professional football. The family had tickets forever, okay? I asked him about this yesterday. I said, hey, our quarterback's leaving us. How do you feel? And this is a guy who's loved the Packers forever.
Diehard Packers fan.
He said, I made my peace with it a couple years ago.
Peace,
And I'm done with it.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah, move forward.
I think
here's
I
a
wouldn't
follow-up
feel
question.
as bitter if I knew that Jordan Love was the guy.
So now he's got this new slogan. So blood for love, baby.
So is he going to be the starting quarterback?
I want to get somebody else.
Yes. Okay. Why is there not more conversation about that? It's like, all right, we know this guy's probably gone, but. And wasn't that kind of the beginning of the end is when they drafted him?
I'd rather have Brock Purdy at this point. Listen, at least Brock Purdy can win. Hey, listen.
Wins games.
But now he's out for like 6 to 8 months. So, I mean, So, I think there's a lot of elements that go into this whole thing. But, listen, we had some good times together. And now it's time to move on.
It's been an unreal run for the Packers, though.
We should have won at least another 2 or 3 titles.
At least.
That's fair. I agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, it was one title in 2011 when they weren't expected
to
win.
So who's your top
title.
5 Packers then?
All right, Paul Hornung, Bart Starr,
Okay.
Brett Favre, Leroy Butler. Yeah, we're getting back into it now.
Man, yeah.
And I would have to say Sterling Sharp.
Wow. No Reggie?
You left Reggie out?
I left Reggie out.
Yeah, Reggie White.
Reggie probably would take the place of Leroy Butler.
Okay.
All right.
I would place the importance of Leroy Butler to that organization because he's been a coach now ahead of Aaron Rodgers.
All right.
He's a Hall of Famer. Listen, Aaron Rodgers has been good for a long time, but I think those are my top 5 Packers in the organization.
Nice.
I mean,
Jesse.
So, all right. Well, thanks for airing it out with me today. I feel like this was a great therapy session.
I know. But he just, his blood pressure was 160 over 110. He's doing better
It's
now.
going to be okay.
It's going to be okay. Let's give a pat on the back. You're all right, buddy.
Thank you, everybody.
In through the nose.
Thank you. All right, let's try some beers before I go absolutely crazy.
Yeah, we got lots of new stuff, man.
Right.
We were talking about how last time. We got 3 beers we're going to try. We're going to start off with the first one being, we'll go low to high.
Hold on, I do have to say this. We're talking about blood pressure. I went to the dentist the other day, and she took my blood pressure, and it was like, I don't know, like 130 over. It was
That's
higher.
not good.
And she was like, is your blood pressure normally this high? I'm like, no. And then in my mind now, I'm like, maybe it's the Packers that are doing this to me. So
It's Rodgers.
losing to the Lions on the last night.
Hey, that was like winning the Super Bowl for me.
His last loss is losing to the Lions at home. That describes what's going on right now, buddy.
All right, let's get our we'll wet our whistles here. We actually got a pizza sample over here. We got
What
lots
is it,
of
the drip? Sip and drip.
Sip, drip, strip.
All right, first one up. We got Paloom. This is a newer
Cheers.
beer for us. Last time we had this thing sold out in a week and a half. So this is one of the things
tried this yet?
no, I don't think you have.
I know I've had one.
Yeah. You
don't
guys
know,
might
I
have
think we've had it on
You guys
here.
might have had Param, but you haven't had Paloom. This is a nice, clean, easy drinking, 5.6 ABV, basically West Coast style.
Give this a show on the
Yeah.
camera. This is West Coast style?
Yeah, just a nice, clean, or I call it. It's a Midwest IPA. And somebody asked me, "What's a Midwest IPA?" It's a version of a West Coast, not as bitter.
Midwest Coast.
It has a nice it has a nice finish to it.
Yeah, it's clean. It's got a nice grain flavor in there. But yeah, we use Galaxy hop in this one, and so Paloom and Param are brother-sister beers.
Okay.
So they're
Are they twins?
well, from their names, they are. Yeah, they actually are. So but this is a fantastic beer. It's been super popular. It just came back on. We brewed it. We ran out of it. We made Param, and they're like, well, when's Paloom come back? I'm like, well, we'll just go back and make it again. So during our hiatus of road tours, Paloom came out. But this is for our nice, person that just wants a nice, clean beer, nice IPA.
Yep.
It's not overly bitter. We call it a Midwest IPA. It's West Coast based, but it's got Midwest elements in it from an IPA standpoint. So
Awesome, buddy.
All right.
This is good.
Good. Glad you
Thanks,
like it. All right. Next up.
Yes.
How's that for ASMR right there?
Oh, man, that was beautiful. All right, this is James.
It's called James?
Yeah, the beer's called James.
This is what I've been drinking all day.
So what? Wait. Hold on. We got to ask about the names of these. Paloom came from where?
So Paloom and Param are both from, I'm geeking out a little bit, this is from my Final Fantasy days.
Okay.
So
That's right.
Both are.
Final
Okay.
Fantasy 2,
Okay.
they were characters in
That's
that,
right.
and they mean generosity and well-being, and I always thought that'd be cool, like a cool two-beer series name, so that's where those came from. They're white mages. I'm geeking out a little.
And what about James?
James is interesting. So, do you remember a few years ago, like James, like the what's the song? Real popular song in early '90s, maybe mid '90s.
Jane Said?
Laid, right? By
Jane Said. Remember the Jane Said song?
Who is it? James.
James, the band, Laid. It's not from there. Do you remember the song Laid? You don't know that name? That song? Oh,
No.
gosh, dude. How
Do
old
you?
are you?
I don't think so.
Am I? Yeah.
I'm older than you think I am.
It is not from that. So that's all. Yeah.
What is? What,
So James is my middle.
Sing it to us.
come on. Now's your chance.
This bed is on fire
Oh, okay.
with passion and love.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
The neighbors complain about the noises
Nice.
above.
Let's
Oh,
go.
yes.
Yes. Okay.
You know that song?
Yes,
You-
yes.
I don't want to scream out the.
Dude, those vocals were legit.
was good.
Well, for not having a warm up, I might need a little honey or
this
something.
is well. You got this right here.
So this beer is not named after the song or the band, if you will.
I need a little honey, is what he said. Does Julia warm up with honey?
No, but pregame in college, that
Yeah.
was a thing.
That's what people do, man.
You know, so I learned that from Brady Quinn. That was his thing. I'm serious.
We're spilling secrets about Brady's deal?
That was we had honey in our locker. We bring honey. Yes.
yeah.
What?
It coached the vocal cords.
coached
So
the
if you're
vocal
going
cords.
out there to, you're yelling, and you've got 80,000 people
There's
out
a lot
there.
of singers.
Yeah.
Ask Julia. She's probably done it.
It coats your vocals. Yeah.
Dude, I need to try that before a PA announcement.
And,
next time.
and here's the other thing
Yeah,
too. Is
it's a real thing.
Seriously.
Yeah.
do that before workouts too. It's an instant shot of sugar.
Dude, see, this is all we do is just give you good life
Boom,
hacks.
you're ready to
Vahid.
go.
I've been living in Green Bay for my entire okay.
A lot of artists do it, though, man. That's true.
Hey,
it's a
that-
real thing.
Cheers to
Yeah, so for me
that.
pulling
all
off
right?
that song and the little limited time
Anyway,
you gave
so
me.
James-
So James is my yeah.
We went a little off track
Yeah,
here.
we
That's
did.
good.
All right, so James.
This one's good. I like
Isn't it
really
nice?
I like it
So
too.
here's what's good about James. So James is something unique. A lot of hops come from the UK, some from the United States. James's hops are French hops, believe it or not. So this one's got Mistral, Vic Secret, and Baba Rouge hops in there. So this has got a different, unique style. So technically is a New England, but we used a French hop in it. And give a little-
Cheers, gentlemen.
James Delacroix.
This is good.
yeah, you'll notice it.
Show this one on.
Yeah, absolutely.
If
It's
you
got
could.
it. Here we go. Take a look at that.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
This is done real well. We've only brewed it one other time. People love it, and it's just it's a nice clean beer. It's almost got, I don't want to say it's got a Belgian flavor to it, but it's just I think that's the French oils that are in those particular hops that are in this beer.
It's not particularly hot.
So it's not named after my middle name.
All right, do you
I'm-
like
I'm getting
Belgium?
what?
Do you like Belgian beers?
Yeah, I do.
Like
Yeah.
triples and
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I don't brew them as often because they don't. I don't know. They don't sell as well.
They're a little more niche.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does hot stand for again? Hot.
Hot means that the hop oils have not come down in that beer yet. So like if you sometimes like, especially on some of the New Englands and stuff, you'll hear people say, "Oh, that beer's hot," or it's green. It just means that the hop oils haven't dissipated yet. So where there's no burn in this beer at all, this beer is drinking.
I had a really
perfect.
oily beer last night.
What was it?
Nefarious.
Who's it by?
Evil Check.
Oh.
Is it good?
It actually was pretty good. It was like a hazy, juicy.
Evil Czech is linked up with Corn Dance.
Corn Dance
Yeah, that's their
and
thing.
Jesus.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Although, have you guys had their beer in a can or cake in a can?
Yes, I have.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It's
I'm
good.
sorry.
It's good.
This is way off topic, I know, but have you had it?
No.
So if you go to Jesus or you go to Corn Dance,
I've never been to Jesus.
Okay.
My wife goes all the
You
time.
can get cake in a can.
it's a can,
really?
like a beer can.
Oh, nice.
And so there's one, it's tiramisu.
Oh,
It's
nice.
tiramisu in a can.
Oh, wow. I love tiramisu.
It's
pretty delicious.
heavenly.
Oh, my God. Furman
Heavenly.
is tied at 54 with UVA.
Dude,
Let's
that's
go,
crazy.
baby.
Only in March Madness.
Well, that's good because Johanna, 7-year-old, she picked Furman to win. So
all right. Can I finish telling the story
sorry,
where
yeah.
this beer came from? So, actually, James is after one of the 12 disciples. That's an appropriate time right now because we're in Lent.
Hey.
And I always liked it for a beer name. So, it's got but that's what
I
this
love
is.
it, man.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, little French hop. Cheers. Don't spill it on the equipment.
What's our final
Final one.
countdown here? Great song. Maybe a top 5 song of all time.
Dude,
So
are you going to sing it, Evan? Here.
no, but funny story on this. When I first got married, the first time,
Yep.
I walked down the aisle to that song,
Really?
the final countdown.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
it was very ironic, apparently.
Dude, we all have some uncut gems today. Like, it's
Apparently.
been a good
Yeah.
show.
What do we got here? All right.
All right,
Weston.
So this one's got a cool story. So this is Weston. We brewed this with Mandarita, Talus, and Citra hops. So this is going to be a beer that we created that it again a New England style. Should have some nice citrus notes, not overly citrusy like Primus maybe.
Not named after the hotels, I'm guessing.
Not named after hotels. This one has a very cool name. So right down this block here from the brewery, there was a elementary called Weston Elementary. And believe it or not, the chief of police is actually the one that named this beer for Elkhart.
Wow.
So a little bit of history. Yeah, he goes,
Nice.
you should name a beer called Weston. I said, well, I like that name. I said, what's the story? He goes, well, that's where I went to school. And then like 5 people in the brewery are like, hey, I went to elementary there. And so now when you go to where the school is right down the street, it doesn't exist anymore. They knocked it down, and it is a park, and it has Weston Park. So if you jump on our social media outlets, you can actually see where this is at. So I made this beer, and the chief of police came in, and he bought a couple cases. I was like, this is a good deal, right? So, yeah, this is Weston.
That's a cool story.
Yeah, it is cool stuff.
7.6 on the Richter scale.
Yeah, 7.6 on the Richter scale.
But still dangerously smooth.
And dangerously smooth. And I'm going to pair this, Mr. Evan, if you can be our waitress over here. So we've got, since we've last time been gone, you guys can grab a slice of, this is one
My
of
wife
our,
is desperately trying to grab her.
she's trying to, get a slice in there, Heather. That's for you guys. We are featuring Round Belly's pizzas. So, this has been cool. We've got these on our menu pretty much all the time. And
Would you like to partake?
I don't care, whatever. Did you get one?
I'm going to.
Okay, all right, yeah, let's do it. Pull that apart. I don't know how you get a good sounding like chunk into the pepperoni. Here, this
Well,
is
if you're
it.
going to do that, you got to get
The
here.
crust, yeah.
Ooh, well done, dude. You need to go like do
One
that.
bite, everybody knows the rules.
You need to go do that for like Frito-Lay, man. You can be like, I think I'm really making some good money.
I'm a rookie sensation on the ASMR league.
I love it. So we started off on these. We have pepperoni cheese sausage. You can get this as one of our new cost-effective menu items. $10, you get 4 slices of pizza. Can't beat it. It pairs well with one of our beers. Round Belly's is out of South Bend. They're a company that a lot of people hadn't heard of. So they kind of started off doing the food truck thing, but they do a lot of events in Michigan and at beer festivals. And this guy he's actually in the process of opening up his own location that you'll actually be able to go there and actually have a Round Belly's pizza. And we're always, I think I was telling you earlier, Vahid, I'm actually a big za guy. So I like trying different zas. And we brought these in. And these have been super popular. We feature these on Monday. This is our Monday main special item that we... Thank you, buddy. Cheers. We feature these on Monday, and then we now carry them on the menu at all times now. So if you're coming in and just need a quick snack and you want to fill the belly, Rob Belly's Pizza.
This is good stuff, man.
I'm a big pizza guy, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Can't go wrong with the pizza.
Well, I feel like maybe we should do a show idea at the old school WWB. What do you call it? The original or?
Yeah, old school. I call it old school WB.
And eat Aaron's wings?
Well, Aaron we could do like a little potluck. I'll make pizza.
I'll tell you what. Since we were there, Micah, he asks all the time, can we go back to Aaron's because of those wings?
Buddy,
I think our next podcast needs to be at old school WWB before spring break here. When are you guys leaving? When are you leaving?
April 3rd. It's like whatever the Tuesday is. That. Yeah.
where are you going, buddy?
Sarasota.
Oh, nice.
First family vacay.
Family vacay.
Yeah.
Nice.
When are you guys leaving?
We are leaving March 29th, and we're gone for 10 days. Where
are you going?
We're going to Rainbow Land. That's the hint.
Rainbow.
Somewhere over
going to Hawaii?
the rainbow.
Maui. So, funny
Glad you
story.
were able to decipher that from my singing.
Yeah.
Funny story. So, my wife made me commit to two things, basically, when I got the brewery. She said, one, we have to take a family vacation every year. Where I went wrong was I should have capped it on how much money we can spend on that one vacation a year, because my wife thinks like I'm like Donald Trump. And so we go on a family vacation. Number two was, within 5 years, she said of the brewery opening, she says, I want to go to Hawaii. I'm like, honey, that's an expensive trip, you know. I'm like, I don't make that kind of money.
They got to import all the food. I mean.
Yeah, right? And so we're going to Maui, Hawaii, and our first time. We've never gone. And she goes, what are you most looking forward to? And I said, I want to swim in one of those waterfalls like Kevin Costner in the movie Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
It's the simple things.
It's the simple things in life, yeah. No, we're really looking forward to it. So we've got it all planned. We did the Turo thing. We rented like a Jeep, and I guess there's some road to Benihana or Benihori or something like that.
Drink some
Road to Benihana.
She's the planner. I don't know. How close was I? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
What is it really
It's
called?
not Road to Benihana, though.
Is that the food place?
Yes, it is. Oh, my God. That was a classic, buddy. That was a classic. It's like it's not Benihana, though. I can tell you that.
As long as they have some Kona big waves, you'll be good to
It
go.
sounded good, and you knew what I meant. So yeah, I don't know. She's got all these things planned. I'm
Listen, I'm taking the Road to Benihana many times.
I'm a simple guy. Just get me to a brewery, man. Yeah. I don't need to go to the beach. I can look outside the window and just having a couple good pints. So
have you had Kona before?
I have. Yeah, I've had Golden Big Wave and a few of their others. But yeah, apparently they've got some decent beers in Hawaii.
There's some breweries there.
Maybe I'll bring you guys back a can or two.
Nice.
Of one of my faves.
Well, I'm on a mission to bring you back a Japanese
Dude, if you
beer.
find that, you know that's a white whale, right?
I'm trying my best here. Here, let me
I sent it to him in an actual picture. You got to pull it up because I can't.
Is it on Untapped?
I'm not going to butcher the name again and then get made fun of. So,
it's not Benihana.
It's not Benihana.
It's not Benihana. It's that one.
Tainang Gang. Yeah.
5%.
Yeah, you can only get it in where he's going. I said, if you find one of these, dude, bring this
It's
back.
legit, too.
I suppose it's very good. Yeah, it's a nice, clean.
Let me be your hero, baby. Listen, is this turning into, I don't know what it's
Listen,
turning.
you have to, when you're in the beer world, you have to chase some whales sometimes. And here's another one. Guess what I just scored? You guys ready for this? This beer has got to be like 60, 70 years old. I scored a Meisterbrau. Do you know what that is?
Sounds German.
Well, it is actually a Meisterbrau. You can look it up. It's the same beer that's in Christmas Vacation. I think we might have talked about this around the holidays. I had a buddy that got it. An actual sealed.
So it's out of production?
They're done. It's no longer.
And somebody just had one?
Yeah, some old guy. He traded 14 different trades to get it. Meisterbrau, ready for this? Drum roll is. Yep, exactly. little Christmas occasion.
I just motorboated. Okay, that wasn't a drum roll.
Is actually Miller Lite.
It is.
It's the recipe for Miller Lite. So when Miller Lite bought the recipe from Meisterbrau, which is now known all throughout America. So every time you're drinking a Miller Lite, it's actually the Meisterbrau recipe. So I actually have the bottle chilling at my house. Maybe we can coordinate.
Is this the same recipe in Beer Fest, too?
Right? But you got to chase these beers. So I mean, going on vacation, bring back a beer. You can bring back a beer. I'll bring back a beer, and then we'll share it on the next show. I think that's fair.
Your wish is my command.
All right.
I'm going to try and get that.
You'll appreciate this. You know, we had KBS.
Yeah.
So I was over at a buddy's house, and he's a big whiskey drinker. Like,
Yeah.
he's got whiskey everywhere.
Bourbons, rye.
And he's
that.
like, oh, well, let's we'll walk back here. And he has 8 bottles of KBS from different years. He's like, well, let's crack one open. I'm like, okay, you know how much these cost? He's like, yeah, but you're here, so we should drink one. I was like, all right. Not going to tell you no.
Drink them while you got them.
Drink them while you got them. Gentlemen, cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, thanks so much for making it happen today. We're going to close
Absolutely.
on that note. We're going to try and get another podcast in before spring break.
Yeah,
I think
that sounds good.
There's nothing else during a 14-hour trip that I would like to do than listen to our podcast. So,
Are we going to pick who we think's going to win for the tourney?
Oh.
well,
Maybe no.
Well, you didn't fill one out.
I didn't fill one out.
Well, off the cuff then. Let's
Yeah,
go.
go off the cuff.
Who you got?
Furman right now is up 1.
You got Furman?
I don't have Furman.
I do not
No,
have
I
Furman.
picked. You got my final 4?
Yeah.
I've got Bama, Marquette, Houston, and UCLA.
Marquette. Damn.
So I have a strategy. So since KenPom.com, there's a stat since 2002 when that website started. I might be missing the actual year. You have to be in the top 22 in overall adjusted defense and top 39 in adjusted offense.
Okay.
So you have to hit those 2 criteria. And this year there were only 6 teams that hit it. So when I was filling out my bracket, if I wasn't sure, those were the 2 stats I look at.
Okay.
Which explains that. So like Houston's one of the top as far as that's concerned.
In my pool, I picked Alabama. I went on a cuff, even though I think that they're going to choke. I went with Purdue. I have Houston and Kansas in the other corner. And in my final, I have Houston and Alabama.
So do I.
Do you really? Okay.
Yeah.
And who did you have winning?
Houston.
Okay. And I have Houston winning.
You do?
I do. That defense that they play where all of a sudden they like shoot and like 3 guys run backwards and the other team's like, why are you guys already on back on defense? I mean, that strategy, it works.
Yep.
Vegas odds, I believe Vegas actually is the favorite, is Houston, followed by Alabama. So if that helps you, Vahid. Not that you
Do you need some suggestions here?
No. I got it. Listen, I respect everybody that made the decision to go with these Houstons and blah, blah, blah.
You want me to run this down real quick for you or no?
No.
Okay.
I got it. I appreciate it. I'm going Kansas versus Duke in the championship.
Wow.
I think Duke is a 5 seed.
Yeah, Duke's a 5 seed.
Duke's a 5 seed.
So
They kind of ran the table in the ACC. I'm impressed. They've got a younger team, new coach. I think everybody's like, oh, where are these guys? It's still Duke, baby.
Yeah.
It's still Duke, and it's still Kansas.
Tournament experience.
So they're both on this list,
Are they?
just so you
Okay.
know. So those are good.
Fair
Duke was just outside that threshold as far as how they play on offense.
Yeah.
But Kansas is in there, so like you're part of that.
So I think I'm actually going to pick Duke to win the championship.
Okay.
So I
have a 1993 starter jacket, like spring
for Duke.
windbreaker if you want to wear it for our next podcast.
Bring it to Aaron's house. It's done. It's done. Well, our next podcast is going to be at Aaron's house, whether it's before or after spring break.
Sounds good.
To be determined, but hopefully before. We wish everybody great beer and great decision making when you have that beer.
Absolutely.
And come to Westwind, for God's
Yeah,
sake.
heck yeah. We got some good specials. We got the Reuben on pizzas right now. We're opening early for Patty's Day.
That's right.
So 12 to 8. Come out. We got green beer if you want a green beer.
Hey, we love green beer.
Yeah.
All right, Evan, Aaron, Vahid, it's been a pleasure as always. The Varsity Brews Podcast is online. Of course, check out all our social media pages. And, of course, come out to Westwind Brewery for a great time. Happy St. Patty's Day. We'll catch you in the next one.